Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Dan Greer with Leading from the Middle of the Pack, and today we're going to be chatting all about invisible leadership, the power of leading within, disguised in your invisibility cloak, like Harry Potter's got. I know I just kind of geeked out on you for a little bit on Harry Potter. Anyways, we're going to be chatting all about invisible leaders and what it looks like to be an invisible leader and how you recognize those traits in others. Because if you're leading from the middle of the pack, you need to be able to recognize those invisible leaders. So, cue up theme song. We'll be right back. The big question is this: how are leaders, like us, who aren't necessarily in a management position, who go out and get our hands dirty, who are ready to answer their calling from God to lead, who are driven to learn and grow, gain the trust and respect of those around us, to actually be heard while not coming across as an authoritative prick? These are the questions, and this is the podcast that will give you the answers. Hi, my name is Dan Greer, and welcome to Leading from the Middle of the Pack. Awesome! So glad you guys are still here. So today we're going to be chatting all about discussing how to lead through your actions, your attitude, your ideas, regardless of your official title, right? That's what this is all about. Not only that, it's going to be about recognizing people who can do that as well. Now, first off, I got to say something. I'm going to step off to the side. Boom, my camera's following me, so I apologize. But check out that picture in the background. That thing is wicked cool. It's our first of a series called Empowering Heroes and Strengthening Communities. So we have this huge mission of empowering heroes, local fire departments, and we're doing a whole bunch of stuff to partner with local fire departments in the very near future. And this is the very first thing we're doing. So I know, try to keep your eyes on the picture. Listen to what I'm saying. If you're listening to this podcast, you need to go check out the video because you're going to be like, oh, I got to see that picture because it is wicked cool. Now, I'm going to give you a little hint that if you follow me on social media, you got to see the picture before you got to hear about it here or see it here, because I posted it the second I got it from our guy Riggs and Rods. Give a big old huge shout out, Jay, up there. And anyways, my point is follow me on social media, Real Dan Greer, on any channel, no matter what. You're gonna be able to find me. If you're not smart enough to figure it out on LinkedIn, it's Daniel Real Dan Greer. Greer is what it is. I made Real Dan Greer my middle name so that you can still find me on LinkedIn if you search Real Dan Greer, right? And then I'm super stoked. By the time you hear this, realdangreer.com is going to be launched. What? Oh, I know. Crazy crap. Oh my gosh. So much cool stuff going on. All right. So now that that's out of the bag and I've let all that stuff loose, right? I know. Crazy. Super awesome. Let's talk a little bit about this invisible leadership. So there's a few things we need to know with invisible leadership. One is, how do you find people who are those invisible leaders? Well, there's a couple different ways you find them. One is you open your freaking eyes and you look for them. It's not that hard. Seriously, you can tell the people who haven't give a crap. You can tell the people who care. You can tell the people who are leaders in probably less than 2 days worth of time. And I'm not saying that you sit there and you watch them and you're like, do. Oh, yep, Joe's doing this. Oh, yep, John's doing this. Oh, yep, Barbara's doing this. Oh, yeah, Jill did this. Oh, yeah. That's not what I'm saying. Don't sit there with your arms crossed watching other people. Actually work and watch how they work, because you're going to see the leaders step up in those leadership roles, and they're going to be able to influence other people to do stuff without actually having a title or being in charge, right? So they're going to be the people that go, oh yeah, we need to blow this off, grab the blower, they start doing it, right? They're not going to be the person who says, hey Joe, parking lot needs blown off, go grab the blower and blow it off. That's not going to be the person. That's not going to happen. That's not going to do any good. That's not going to help you at all. They're not a leader. They're a freaking boss. They're an authoritative prick, which is who we call out in this, because we're not authoritative pricks, right? Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyways, I just had this mind-blowing experience I was going to tell you guys about, but I'm going to wait because I've already given you so many juicy tidbits. You're going to have to wait for the next one, and hopefully I remember to tell you in the next podcast. We'll see. Anyways, so that's the invisible leadership aspect of it. That's the people, not the people who boss other people around, but the people who go get it done and they lead by example, right? So, hey, I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to throw my headphones in. I'm going to throw this blower on. I'm going to blow off this parking lot. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to say, do you want me to do this? That's not a leader. A leader doesn't say, do you want me to do this? They go, oh man, hey, that parking lot needs blown off. Where's the blower? Oh, here it is. And they just put it on and they go. They don't ask questions. They don't try to get out of it. They don't call somebody else and be like, hey, do you mind calling these guys just to see how it's going with them? They go, oh, hey, these guys need a call. Boom. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, good. That's what a leader does. Now, I do got to say this, that if you're in a leadership role and you have that title and you have that position, yes, you've got to do this sometimes, but there's other times that people will, I'm trying to think of how to say this in a nice way. People will take advantage of you as much as you let them, for as long as you let them. So if you make them feel that it's okay for them to call somebody else or have a conversation with somebody like, hey, do you mind calling these people? And they're in a leadership role, then they're going to do that every single time. And if that other person goes, oh yeah, I totally call them because they're trying to be good to their boss, that's crap, right? Like, and we're talking about invisible leaders doing this, like people who aren't actually in a leadership role. Maybe they're a leader themselves. Maybe they're supposed to be a leader, but they're trying to lead other people, not just themselves. My point here is like the invisible leaders aren't the people who actually like say, hey, go call these guys, right? That's not the invisible leader. The invisible leader is the one who's like, oh, hey, this needs to be done. And they get it done. They make the call. Right now, where I was going with this was if you are in a leadership role and you allow somebody else to walk on somebody else who's trying to be a boss, not a leader, then you are not a leader. You're not doing them any favors by allowing that to continue to happen. Be like, oh, yeah, Bob just got that done. I'm so glad he called Joe and made Joe make those phone calls. No, that's not what happens. Bob, why don't you call that guy? Bob, it's not Joe's job to call your people. You call him, Bob. Don't be an idiot. Just go do it. Quit being lazy. I don't care if you got to work till 7 o'clock tonight. Get it done. It's your job. That's what you're paid to do. Make it happen. And guess what? If you rearrange your time and organize better, you'd have more time in your day. And then you'd be okay. But because you're bad at organizing, you're screwed. You're working late because you're bad at organizing your time. Until you figure that out, you're going to be punished by working later. Like, that's just life. Guess what? You guys want to know what time I'm recording this right now? Yeah, I didn't record this and put it out this morning. It is right now 7:58, and I'm like, oh, my kid's out for a run. My wife is going for a walk. I should be walking with her, but instead, I'm down here recording a podcast because I'm super stoked, and I want to tell you guys all about it. So, like, I am organizing my time. I'm taking advantage of what's going on. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I had to go make 4 podcasts today, and I made 0, and so I was like, oh, I got to do something. And so I was like, oh, I got time. I'm going to go do it before I go to bed. So I ate dinner, and now I'm down here doing some podcasts. Squirrel, shiny object. I know. The fun life of an entrepreneur and the guy who's in charge, the leader. That's just kind of an invisible leader, though, right? Like I'm not asking my team to be here at 8 o'clock at night to do this. I'm doing this in my office with my AI tracking camera that's all following me around and my awesome new picture that I want to show you. That's really the whole reason I'm here is because I just got it tonight. I'm super stoked about it. Anyways, let's get back into this invisible leadership thing. So there is so much that invisible leaders do. And there's so much that goes into being an invisible leader and watching and noticing those other people who are invisible leaders. Now, we talked a little bit about how not to be an invisible leader, right? You're not an invisible leader by not taking action. You're not an invisible leader by not looking for things to do. You're not an invisible leader by being a boss and telling other people what to do, right? Those are not invisible leaders. They're not leaders at all. Those are authoritative pricks. That's what they are. They're people who don't need to be in a management position, but somehow got put there, right? If you want to be a real leader, you got to lead by example. Okay, not only that, but you've got to have the right actions and the right attitude. And you got to be open to new ideas, regardless of what's going on, regardless of where you're at. So like, let's think about this for a second. And somebody who's a really, really great, phenomenal leader, they're super open to new stuff, right? Maybe not everything, but something. I had a conversation today with a lady. She was super nice. She goes, yeah, what do you think if I told you to change your logo? And I said, I tell you to go pound sand, lady. I love my logo for my software and for my company. Now, if you told me to change the logo for leading from the middle of the pack, I'd be like, score. Yeah, no problem. Let's do it. Let's make it right. Let's make it great. I kind of like the wolf. I kind of like the wolf howling. I kind of like what I've got, but like, I'm not like in love with it. I haven't conceived this notion and made this like what it is, right? Like, yes, I've conceived leading from the middle of the pack, but like if the logo changes, it's not the end of the world, right? And the lady came to me, she's like, oh, I hate this color orange. I'd be like, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, deal with it. We're keeping our orange. We're going to call it .docs orange. Like I'm going to totally get it branded. I'm going to take the name of it. I'm going to call it .docs orange. That's what it's going to be. New idea. I'm going to sell it as like paint schemes. Could you imagine orange in a paint scheme? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. My car's going to be orange someday. Oh, orange semi-trucks, like docs orange semi-trucks. Oh, and orange school buses. Oh my gosh. Ooh, and orange fire trucks. Oh, ooh, orange helicopters. Ooh. Okay, I digress. I'm getting distracted here. You guys have got me all excited about some stuff, so I gotta like take it back and let's get talking about like invisible leadership. Anyways, where I was going with that was that if I was not open to new ideas, if like, you know, if I was just completely set and everything I've done is 100% right, even though it's not working, I would be insane and I wouldn't be a good leader. I definitely wouldn't be an invisible leader, right? I would be somebody who's kind of just like outspoken, which I completely am in certain situations. But anyways, I wouldn't be somebody who was like I wouldn't be a great person. I wouldn't be a great leader because I wouldn't be open to anything new. And guess what happens when we're not open to anything new? Nothing good. Nothing good happens when we stay in the same rut, the same pattern, the same routine. That's why so many people never actually change, because they keep doing the same exact thing day after day after day after day, and they expect change. They're insane. It's the definition of insanity by Albert Einstein, right? People do the same thing over and over and over again and expect different results. If you do the same thing over and over again, you're insane. Especially if you expect different results. Now, if you expect the same thing to happen, then it's okay, right? But if you expect different results, that's crazy, right? Okay, so invisible leaders, like, they have a great attitude. Let's talk a little bit about attitude. So I had a conversation earlier today with a guy, and he was like, gee, I'm having some problems. Oh, I'm super distracted. Oh, G. And he had like 18 different problems. And I was like, really? Interesting. Get over it. And he's like, what? What do you mean get over it? I was like, get over it. I don't care about your problems. Figure it out. You have solutions? I don't want problems. I want solutions. How are you making this a solution? Stop thinking about the problem. Start thinking about the solution. That's what I told him. And the dude's like, how do you do that? Like, the problem just gets me down. Like, I can't even deal with it anymore. I'm like, I don't have problems. I have solutions. Problems, if you focus on the problem, Tony Robbins says, where energy goes, where focus goes, energy flows. So if you're always focusing on the problem, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get more problems. If you focus on the solution, guess what happens? You can get more solutions. You get better action. It's going to be faster. It's going to be quicker. It's going to be better. So my big thing here is like, I am so big into attitude. Attitude is everything. And that's what people don't understand. Is like, I would rather hire somebody with zero knowledge on DOT compliance and train them to be a DOT expert if they have the right attitude. I would rather do that than hire some ignorant prick who has all the DOT knowledge in the world, but the wrong attitude, because they feel like they know it all, and they feel like they can't learn, and they feel like that they already know how to do everything perfectly. I would rather work with somebody who has zero knowledge, who has the right attitude, than somebody who has all the knowledge in the world and a bad attitude. And I think that a lot of times we fall into that, I have so much knowledge, I am so smart, nobody else is smarter than me, I can't learn anything, la 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 la, and on and on and on and on and on, and crapola, right? And I think we see that, and I think you can see that in other people, and I think that that's the truth about what happens to people. We get so knowledgeable on a topic, we go, I can't learn anything new here. I learned something new about DOT this morning, and I'm like a DOT expert nationwide. Like, it's nuts. It's nuts. Like, I'm so big of a DOT expert. I wasn't going to say this, but I got to say it because it's coming here. It's coming out of my mouth. I can't believe I'm saying this right now. It's going to make it real. I'm actually going to have to do this now. I am such a DOT expert that I have people across the nation saying, hey, Dan, would you make a podcast and a YouTube channel on DOT? What? For reals? I've had multiple people come to me in like the last week and go, Dan, you need to do a YouTube channel all on DOT compliance. And I'm like, you guys are nuts. Nobody's going to want to watch this crap. I don't even want to watch it. I don't even want to make it. But we're going to do it anyways. Right? Boom, I spoke it into existence. It's going to happen. All right. So that's the thing I wasn't going to tell you about, but I ended up telling you about it anyways. Man, this is like a podcast full of twisted turns. Holy cow. You guys are so lucky you're here today. Oh man, I'm just like, boom. All right. Now the last thing that I want to talk about is this. Is like, how do you lead through your actions, your attitude, and your ideas? How do you lead through that? As an invisible leader, it's super easy. You don't worry about who gets credit for whatever it is. You come in and you go, hey, Bob, what do you think about this? What do you think about this idea? What do you think about this? And you get him to kind of believe that it's Bob's ideas if Bob's the leader, right? And Bob, all of a sudden, Bob will come up and he'll be like, hey, I got this good idea, guys. Let's do this. This is a great idea. And you know what you got to do as the person who gave him that idea, who planted that seed? You know what you got to do? Great idea, Bob. I love your idea. You're so smart. Man, I wish I was as smart as you. In the back of your head, you know what you got to say? Dude, I totally planted that seed. That's totally me. That's totally the reason that's coming, is just because of that seed right there. Like, I know the seed that I planted to make that happen. It's not like 100% me. God was involved in this decision a lot, but like, I helped plant that seed. I helped make this happen. That's what you do. That's how your actions, your attitudes, and your ideas grow. You got to have the right actions by planting that seed. You got to have the right attitude by not wanting to take credit for it, not being mad. See, like, you got two options when Bob comes up and he's like, oh, I got this great idea. And it's totally your idea and you totally planted the seed. One, you can be like, what a freaking prick. He stole my idea. Or you could be like, man, I'm so glad I planted that idea so we can actually move forward instead of staying where we were. Attitude. Okay? Attitude. Attitude is a key to success. And you got to look for that attitude in invisible leaders. I'm telling you, dude, I go around all day and I plant seeds, man. That's all I do with like tons of people. I just go out and I'm just like a farmer across the world right now. I'm just like seeds. I'm just like throwing it. Anywhere it lands, I'm like, oh, and then I water a little bit on the ones that start to take root, right? And then I water it some more. And the ones that really take root, I water really good and I weed around it and I keep planting that seed and I keep growing it until it comes to fruition and I get fruit out of it, right? So I get a crop out of it. That's what I'm doing. That's what it takes. You got to plant those seeds. And that's all about attitude. It's all about ideas and it's all about actions. Don't be afraid to take actions. Had a conversation with my team this morning. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about this. This is the very last thing I'm going to tell you. Had a conversation with my team this morning. It's absolutely amazing. We were sitting there, we were talking about it. And I told them, I was like, man, when I send y'all an email and I ask for advice, you got to respond. You got to respond. Like, I'm not asking you to respond on the weekends, but it needs to be like Monday morning when you open up your email, you should be responding to me and what's going on here. And I know that sounds really selfish, but like, here's my reasoning behind it. And this is exactly what I told him. I was like, I know this sounds selfish, but here's my reasoning behind it. Y'all know me. Y'all know that I take action quick. You tell me that something should happen and I make it happen. Like I go do it. Like I'm not letting grass grow under my feet about anything that needs to happen. Like if I'm supposed to start another nonprofit, boom, it's done. Right? If I'm supposed to go do something else, boom, it's done. It's there. It's over. It's finished. Like it's so good in what it does. And like being able to take that action is huge. And so my reasoning behind having them take action to respond to my emails, to respond to my messages, to respond to what I'm asking them to do is so that I can go take action faster. Because if I'm waiting on them to take action, to change 2 words, right? To change 2 words in a podcast intro. Maybe they've got that idea that I need. Maybe they've got the idea that's going to spark the idea that I need, right? But if they don't give it to me, if they don't share it, if they don't take action right away and give it back to me, I can't make those changes. And guess what? I've already recorded 12 episodes. And they're like, well, here's my idea. I'm like, dude, I'm past that. That was like 3 weeks ago, man. What you doing? That's about taking action. That's what it's all about. Okay? So remember, when you're looking for those invisible leaders within your company, within the people around you, look for the people who have the right actions. They're not afraid to take action. Look for people who have the great attitudes. Not crappy ones, not sour pusses. And look for the people who have awesome ideas. No matter what their title is, no matter what their role is. Guaranteed. I work with somebody. Well, I don't work with somebody. I volunteer for a special organization. It's super fun. And the guy I volunteer with, he loves the power. He loves the authority of being in the same role. And me, I'm just like, take it, bro. I don't want it. And you know what happens? More people come to me than come to him. Because they know that like Dan's this guy that gets stuff done. This other guy just loves to talk about stuff. And yeah, he gets a super huge high out of being a leader with me. And I don't even really want to be a leader anymore. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm sitting here going like, man, I like contributing to the community, but I contribute to the community in so many other ways than just this. I can touch way more than 20 kids' lives. I can touch hundreds of kids' lives, thousands of kids' lives. I can touch thousands of communities across the world by what I'm doing. But I don't need the authority and I don't need the recognition for it. You guys picking this up? You guys getting this? Does this all make sense to you? Good. Well, hope you guys enjoyed it. We're a little bit longer, 15 minutes, so I apologize for that. But it was such a good podcast. I so enjoy that you guys are still here. I just love what's going on. So if y'all like this, give us a 5-star review. Rate, I just spit all over you. So hopefully hopefully the camera didn't catch that. Anyways, y'all on the podcast are lucky. You didn't just get to see me spit all over you. Anyways, my point is I hope y'all like this. I hope that you if you did like it, give us a 5-star review, leave us a rating, share this with a friend. Like, I don't charge anything for this. We don't do anything else. We don't get any like ads or any crap like that in here for you to listen to. So share this with a friend, okay? Now, on top of that, if you didn't like this, get the heck out of here. Nobody likes you anyways. I mean, don't bother leaving us. You shouldn't be wasting your time listening to this long. All right. Hope y'all had a great day. Go out and find yourself some visible leaders within your company. Chat with you later. Bye.